Guys, what's up? It's Darkmick here and welcome back to Almost 2 Minute Tank Guides. No hope today for LFR, Normal and Heroic. Today we are talking Guldan, the last boss in the Nighthold. So I'm going to explain the differences from Normal and Heroic, which there aren't a hell of a lot of, and this really isn't too complex of a fight for tanks. So straight up when you get to the platform, you are going to notice you have an extra action button, and as the tanks, ours is called Resonant Barrier. It's an absorption shield, and we're going to use it in phase 1 and phase 2, and I'll explain it as we go. So in phase 1, he's going to start off in the middle, and you're going to run in, you're going to pick him up, you're going to face him away from the group, and you are just going to start tanking, spanking him pretty much. He's going to, he's green, his hands are going to light up with green fel energy, and whichever way he's facing, he's going to cast an ability called Fel Flux, which is a big green fel beam that you just don't want to stand in. So there's that. Eventually, he's going to spawn 3 adds one at a time. The first add that's going to spawn, there's going to be a big purple circle that goes out on the ground, a big area of effect, and that's where your first add is going to pop up. The first add is always Fel Lord Kurzamal. And as the tank, it doesn't matter which one, you need to pick the Fel Lord up and drag it on top of Guldan, and your DPS will start focusing the Fel Lord down whilst cleaving off him onto Guldan. That's why you put the Fel Lord on Guldan. Now, as the tanking Fel Lord, you need to watch out for an ability he will cast called Shatter Essence. When he casts Shatter Essence, when he starts casting it, you need to hit your extra action button, the Resonant Barrier, and it's going to absorb the Shatter Essence. If you don't, you're going to get clocked for about 7.5 million damage or more, and it may very well kill you. So just keep that in mind. Shatter Essence, tanking Fel Lord, hit extra action button. So you're tanking him on top of Guldan. As soon as the second add spawns, which is the Inquisitor, this is the primary DPS focus target. So as soon as the second add Inquisitor spawns, move your Fel Lord off Guldan and take it straight on top of the Inquisitor add and just leave Guldan in the middle. Your DPS will start focusing down the Inquisitor. If your DPS is really shit after the first Shatter Essence, you may need to taunt swap on the Fel Lord so the second tank can use their Resonant Barrier for the next Shatter Essence. However, I have never, ever seen this happen in a Normal or Heroic. So it doesn't matter who picks up the Inquisitor. You can pick up the Inquisitor while tanking the Fel Lord as well. Just the Inquisitor's going to die first, then the Fel Lord, and then the Jail Dude's going to die next. They're on Heroic difficulty. The only difference in this entire phase will be the Fel Obelisk that spawns. So there'll be green swirly ground patchy shit on the ground. You don't want to stand in it. If you stand in it, you get stunned by a Fel Obelisk when it comes out. So avoid the green stuff on the ground in Heroic. The rest is the exact same. Then he's going to go into phase 2. So phase 2, you're going to tank him in near the middle of the room. So he's standing in the Eye of Amun-Thul or Amun-Ra or whatever the fucking mummy thing is. He's standing in the middle there. You want to tank him on the edge of the circle, of the middle circle, facing away from your raid. And this is where your tanks are going to start dealing with Fel Scythe. So Guldan has an energy bar. Every time it fills up, and someone triggers his Fel Scythe ability, which if you go within 2 yards of his primary target, he will use Fel Scythe. If he's got more and more energy, it hits harder and harder and harder. So as the tanks, one tank is going to pick it up. They've got current aggro. They're going to face Guldan away from the raid. The off tank is going to stand off to the side, let's say about 4 yards away. They're going to wait 10 to 12 seconds or at about 40 energy, and then they're going to strafe over the top of the current main tank, which is going to trigger Fel Scythe. Both use your active mitigation and pretty much rinse repeat this for the entirety of phase 2 and 3. And that is pretty much it, guys, in regards to managing Fel Scythe. So just 40 energy, run over the top, run out. That's it. The taunt swap mechanic in this phase for 2 and 3 are Bonds of Fel. So when the current tank gets Bonds of Fel, they'll get punted away and you will taunt. Move to their position once they're clean, just remembering how Fel Scythe works. And the tank that gets punted back with Bonds of Fel, pop a CD, run forward and break your own bond. Generally, as a tank, you don't need people to run over and share your damage from Bonds of Fel. As a DK, AMS, run forward. As a Druid, Survival Instincts or Frenzied Regen, will work just fine. On Heroic difficulty for this, Guldan's going to summon a Dreadlord. So there's, again, purple circle on the ground and a Dreadlord is going to spawn. The off-tank, the person who is not tanking Guldan, needs to pick up the Dreadlord and bring it over the top of Guldan again so the ad can get focused down while the cleave's going off onto Guldan. And he's going to be casting Carrion Plague, I think, or something like that. Just make sure you interrupt. You don't want any of the cast to get off. So interrupt what you can as the tank, but there should be a rotation done for that or enough DPS that are interrupting it. But add on top of Guldan, continue DPSing it down. Bonds of Fel is your taunt swap, manage Fel Scythe. So phase 3, guys. So when phase 3 happens, you want to get right up against Guldan and his little bubble in the middle as you're going to get blown backwards, and then he's going to go Super Saiyan. You're still dealing with Fel Scythe, so what you're going to do here is, if you can face Guldan, what you want to do is drag him all the way to the edge of the room. Reason being is he's going to cast an ability called Storm of the Destroyer, which you're going to run to the other side of the platform. So you want as much room as you can. So phase 3, you've been blown back, that's finished. Taunt Guldan and bring him over to the edge of the platform. If you can, and you need coordination with DPS to do this, if you can face Guldan towards the middle of the platform, it'll actually make the eye that he spawns, the empowered eye he spawns, spawn in a better location on range DPS. However, it also means DPS are probably going to be retarded and triggering off more Fel Scythe than they should. So if you don't have that communication, just face him on the outside like I'm doing in this video, and DPS can just get behind him. When the empowered eyes spawn, you can try and get aggro on them if you can. Apparently this works. I've never had to bother doing it, but apparently you can. But again, it's not a big thing. Phase 3, your main concern as the tank is the Fel Scythes, and bringing him over to the edge of the platform. As soon as he casts Storm of the Destroyer, you run to the other side. And that is pretty much it, guys. It is not a really complex fight. Hopefully I haven't prattled on for too long and made that ridiculously complex. If you have any questions at all, please do hit me up. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks, guys.